Hello everyone, my name is Christine, and I have worked for the past 8 years in a computer related field. The first 5 years I was dedicated to doing IT and network support for local businesses. The past 3 years I have dedicated to doing over the phone technical support for residential customers of a large internet provider. And today I want to talk to you about basic computer maintenance on a computer running Windows 7 or Windows Vista. I want you to take a moment to think about your computer the way you think about your car. You can't drive your car on a day-to-day basis without putting gas in it, checking your oil, checking your transmission fluid, checking your water. If you try to, you would destroy your car. You would render it useless. And the same can be said for your computer. If you do not do basic maintenance on it, it will start slowing down. It may start losing files, it may not run programs properly, or the computer could completely crash and no longer be able to be used. Hopefully we're going to go through a few things today to help you avoid that situation though. We're going to talk about a disk cleanup, uninstalling unnecessary programs, and doing a disk defrag. Okay, first let's talk about a disk cleanup. What is a disk cleanup exactly? What it is whenever you go online to the internet, you end up with what are called temporary internet files and tracking cookies. They say you went to this website, you were there for that long. It maintains a history of your browsing habits. You can also get temporary files from the computer itself. Say I had a file sitting right here, and I just went and moved it into that folder. I would leave a small temporary file on my hard drive that says it was here, but then she put it there. This file is useless. All it does is take up space that you could be utilizing for something else. So how do you get rid of these temporary files and cookies? Easy. You go to your Start menu, All Programs. You come into your Accessories folder. Then you go to your System Tools, and you go to Disk Cleanup. It's going to come up and ask you which drive you want to clean up. C drive is your main drive every time, and that's what you want to clean. It's going to calculate how much space you can regain by running the program. This can take a few seconds or a few minutes depending on how many files you have. You can also delete things directly out of your recycling bin if you have anything in there. But remember, this is permanently deleting it. There's no getting it back after you delete it from your recycling bin. You can come in and check anything in this window. You cannot hurt the computer. So just check the boxes, press OK. It will ask you if you're sure. Tell it to delete files. It will go through the cleanup process. And once it's done, voila, you have just regained wasted space from your computer. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about is uninstalling unnecessary programs. Your computer comes from factory with certain programs pre-installed on it. Chances are very good that over time you have downloaded or installed numerous other programs. Now, that in itself isn't bad, but when you have all these programs sitting in your computer, they're taking up space for one, and they might, even if you're not using them, they may still be utilizing processor power and RAM. Now, processing power is basically the engine of your computer. That's what runs it. The RAM is the memory on your computer, and everything needs the memory to run properly. So if you have programs you're not using that is taking up your memory, then it's taking directly away from the programs you are using. So in order to clear that problem up, you come into your Start menu to your Control Panel. Now, if your Control Panel looks like this, you can change it over here to Category instead of Icon, and you will see Uninstall a Program right here. When you go to it, you will see a list of every program that's in your computer. If you wanted to delete one of these programs, then you would simply go to it. You would right-click on it with your mouse, and then click on Uninstall. It will then pop up with a window, are you sure you want to remove it, or preparing computer for removal. If you do not know the name of a program in here, do not uninstall it. There are programs in here that are necessary for your computer to run properly. So if you have Skype in your computer and you don't use it anymore, you want to come remove it, by all means, come uninstall it. But if you come across anything in here, you say, oh, I don't know what that is. I don't think I've ever used it. I can take it out. Don't unless you are 100% sure of exactly what that program is for. Or you could end up doing further damage to your computer. That's very important, okay? Alright, and the next thing that we're going to talk about is doing a disk defrag. Now, whenever you're saving files, editing files, relocating files, updating files, accessing files, your hard drive keeps track of all this information. But it doesn't store it in any clear, organized manner. Think about coming home from the store, you unload your bags, and you just throw everything you bought all over your living room floor. Well, you know you bought a toothbrush, and you know you flung it towards the right side of your living room, and it's probably near where the toothpaste and the mouthwash landed. Well, you have a general idea where it's at. You can easily go find it, but had you put it up where it belongs, you could have went straight to it and got to it in half the time. The shortest distance between any 2 points is a straight line. That's kind of what happens with your hard drive. When you're saving all this information and it's monitoring all of this, it's putting your Word document there, but then when you update it, it puts it over there. And when you move it from your desktop to that folder, it puts that information there. A disk defrag just says, okay, we're going to organize everything. We're going to put stuff associated with that file here, stuff associated with that folder here. It's going to put everything away where the computer can access it much quicker. Now, in order to do a disk defrag, you want to go to your Start menu, back to All Programs, go back to Accessories, back to System Tools, and go to Disk Defragmenter. Now again, C drive is your main drive. That's the one that you want to clean up. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to come down and you're going to analyze disk. When you analyze it, it tells you how fragmented your hard drive is, so you know whether or not it actually needs to be defragmented. In this case, I already analyzed mine. You can see that it is 3% fragmented, so it does not need a defrag ran on it right now. Anything over 10%, personally, I would recommend going ahead and running a defrag. Anything over 40%, it is imperative that you run a defrag before you end up doing irreversible damage and corrupting the files on your hard drive. And that will cause very large issues with your computer later down the road. So I would suggest, depending on how much you use your computer, every 1 to 2 months coming in and analyzing and see if you need to do a defrag. Something similar can be said for doing the disk cleanup. Depending on how much you're on the computer, you may want to do it daily, weekly, monthly. Personally, I use the computer quite often on a daily basis, so I do a disk cleanup on it daily. And the same thing can be said about uninstalling programs. Obviously, if you don't install things very often, you don't have to uninstall them very often. If you don't remember the last time you uninstalled anything, you may want to go in and check it out. And keep an eye on it every 2 to 3 months to see if there's something in there that you can take out. Alright, and those are just some of the ways that you can go about making sure your computer has a long, healthy life. I thank you all for watching, and I hope that something out of this is useful for you.